Hey everybody, welcome back to the Meta Era Nerd Podcast, now on YouTube. We're in the process of recording our first video. Let's see how it goes. As always, I'm your host Rico, and with me is the anime sensei, the card connoisseur, Marcus. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, man? How you doing? And like Rico said, I know we're finally transitioning to YouTube, trying to get ourselves out there a little bit more. And I'm already liking it just because my main concern was just being able to at least play off Rico, look at Rico, see Rico, and just kind of do it like that. I know it's Rico's doing most of the technological stuff. I'm just here twiddling my thumbs, acting funny, looking funny, while Rico's over there busting his ass, trying to figure out OBS, Twitch, Discord, and again, it's a work in progress. We're gonna get better at it. We're gonna work at it. At least Rico's gonna do all the hard part, and I'll sit here and look pretty and talk and do what I do best. But I'm doing good. Can't complain. It's Friday. It's Friday, right? Or Saturday?
Friday.
Or Friday. Okay, we are Friday. Fridays are always good for everybody. I know the weekend's here, so hope everybody enjoys the weekend. And we did want to give this a shot, give this a try, and hopefully it becomes a staple, a new thing, something that sticks, and something that we want to continue doing. Right?
Yeah, I have a couple tier lists already saved up that are right up our alley. As you can see here, the first one is going to be our Pokemon tier list, particularly only starters and their first form. I do have already another one saved about final evolutions. I had a couple saved from the Zelda franchise, which they say that there's fans of those games out there, so that's why I threw that one in. I also have a Mario one.
Oh, the Mario.
The Mario one I
All right.
actually think you'll really like because
Oh,
I
dude.
have not played a lot of Mario games, but the one I have saved is Mario Power Ups, which are the best
Oh,
Mario
okay.
power ups. So that one seemed really interesting. So yeah, I mean, well, let's kick it off. I know you and I can go on a tangent and just go off talking and real off topic. We're real good at that. So I think we should just get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get. Let's get.
And
Let's jump right in.
this one's gonna be like a little bit of a challenge because it's gonna be input from both of us, from both sides. If it was just me, it would be super easy. If it was just you, it'd be super easy as well, I think. But
Yeah.
I think for this one in particular, my idea was that we should work our way backwards.
And right off the bat, one of the things I might suggest is to be as unbiased as possible. Like, for example, I know Rico's going to want to put Squirtle on S tier right off the bat, but is everybody else going to put is everybody else going to put Squirtle in S tier right off the bat? You know what I mean? Like, I would like to play at least some of the cons, some of the reasons why somebody might not want to put a certain Pokemon in a certain tier. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna try to be the unbiased voice of reason here. While Rico, I know, and again, I do have my favorites. I do have the ones that I would automatically put in S tier. Score Bunny was the Pokemon to shoot me right back into everything. So Score Bunny holds a special place in my heart, and I would automatically put him in tier one. I do have Score Bunny. I have three Score Bunny. I think they're somewhere around here. Stuffed animals and stuff like that. So again, trying to be as unbiased as possible. I'll be that voice, and then we'll kind of go from there. But is there a criteria that we're following, or how are we doing this?
I,
I
I
mean, are we just going by design? By
I mean, it's tough. It's tough to not be biased with your favorites and stuff.
I
You
know.
like you said with you it's Score Bunny, and that's okay. But I think like for me, like I didn't have a big thing with Score Bunny, but I know you did, so we would have to kind of average out to see where he belongs, right? Uh, so I don't know. Let's just actually let's go from the bottom up. So we'll start with Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur,
Okay.
probably from Gen 1, is probably the one that kind of gets left out the most because obviously everybody loves Charmander. Everybody loves
Yeah.
Charizard. You know, why lie? Iconic Pokemon. For
Yeah.
as much as you and I kind of don't want to love him because he's like he gets so much love in every game, a new form every game. Uh, he's iconic, right? So, he's always at the top, and then Squirtle is always like that B guy. A lot of people love Squirtle, Blastoise, that, and Bulbasaur's kind of the one that gets left out. But I still think he's a great design, great Pokemon. The typing I remember at that time in Gen 1 was amazing. So for me, it's gonna be game side stuff and who I like, but I would probably feel comfortable putting him in either A or B. I don't know where you would want to put him.
Yeah, just like you had mentioned, I know Charmander and Squirtle are obviously the most popular, Charmander the most popular across the board, Charizard one of the most popular, if not the most popular aside from Pikachu across the board. And like Rico said, collecting cards, Pokemon cards for a very long time, Charizard being the card that every time there's a Charizard card goes up in price. But nonetheless, Bulbasaur, I think, is actually underrated by design. I think Bulbasaur has the most unique, or out of the three, Squirtle's a blue turtle, Charmander's a red lizard. But what the hell is Bulbasaur? But he has a bulb on his back. That's his thing. We're not really sure what kind of, I guess, animal he would be at first glance. And I would actually feel comfortable putting Bulbasaur in A tier. And just because he's underrated, people don't give Bulbasaur enough credit. Even Venusaur is just powerful looking, and so I'm surprised that you put him in B. I know you said between A or B, but I guess you rolled with a B tier. I would put him in A.
Okay, so we can do that. I feel okay putting him in A. The thing is, it's okay if we move stuff once we go down the line. So if he's there, I mean, it would only make sense, right, that this guy goes up.
Unfortunately, yeah. Again, Charmander, and I would say usually when I've done lists, I've done like anime lists and video game lists, and I always take popularity into account. Not necessarily popularity, but I guess more impact. Impact's a better word, right? The impact that Pokemon has just in games in general. I think I'm is Charmander one of the few Pokemon to appear in every single Pokemon game, right, across the board.
Yeah.
And Charmander, if I'm not mistaken, has been in the majority of the card game also. So again, by popularity, even by design, I think Charmander's design is amazing, and I'll never forget Charmander in the Pokemon anime. God forbid his flame on his tail goes out, because last thing we need is 8, 9, 10-year-old little boys crying their eyes out because Charmander died in the
Yeah.
anime. So again, not to take away, and again, I know me and Rico do have that thing. I think it's S is a pretty safe for Charmander.
So then Squirtle.
What do you think?
You see, that's why I had him here, because my idea was this.
SAB?
Yeah, because if it was me, boom, boom. If it
We
was
see
me,
what
it would be like that. But since it's both of us, there's no way this guy doesn't go on top, right? So
yeah.
it would either have to be something like this, or something like that.
Squirtle. You see that? Okay, now here's my thing, which is why I'm
Again,
saying,
this is only this iteration of the evolution.
no, no,
Not taking two or three into
no,
account,
no,
right?
no,
Yeah.
no, yeah, yeah, and I understand that. But I am going to use them as an example. Out of these three, Charizard is the most popular final evolution. I think that's safe to say across the board.
No.
I would argue that Squirtle is the favorite or the best evolution out of these three. People always veer towards Squirtle more so than Charmander, strangely enough. And that's not just, again, I'm not really kind of thinking of the games from this point, but more so just the overall community. There's a lot of people who prefer Squirtle as a starter. Obviously, Blastoise doesn't get talked about as much because Charizard's in the picture, but when it comes to Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, I think Squirtle actually, is probably.
So what I'm hearing is this.
I would S or A, and I think I would actually be comfortable putting Squirtle in S tier because again, these are by design. These are just by just the Pokemon in general. Um, I mean, not that we're gonna have a lot of S tier, but if we're just to have two S tiers, I would be perfectly happy having Squirtle and Charmander there at the top. And again, by popularity, by taking kind of everything into account, and again, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. Charizard
It's
is the.
okay. Be biased.
I mean,
Be
you
biased.
know,
This is our list, so it's what we think.
and again, it's our list, but I want it to be fair, right? I don't want because again, like you said, if we were separated, I would put all my
Yeah.
favorites to the top.
It's fair between us two. Like,
Yes,
it just has to be fair between us two, which is why we're talking, right?
yeah,
Uh,
and again, that's why I'm doing more of talking it out than anything else. Just kind of trying to plug in as much information as I can in regards to just these Pokemon, just them in general. And I would say Squirtle is arguably more popular than Charmander, when it comes to just as a starter evolution. You know what I mean? The Squirtle squad, get out of here, dude.
Yeah, I just know what an icon Charmander is, and
Oh yeah.
for as much as the blowback
Whoa.
of a lot of the community because of Charizard and the love he gets,
See,
on top of everybody else, like I don't know, like I feel like I couldn't see Squirtle above. I could see him equal to, but not above Charmander.
yeah,
If
yeah,
it was just me, don't get me wrong, like Squirtle goes like up here, right?
yeah.
But
You see, but that's my thing. Is Charmander popular or is Charizard? And again, in my eyes, Charizard's the one that kind of takes that more so than Charmander. That's why in my
that's
case,
fair. Yeah, that's fair. I could see that.
and when it comes to first evolutions, Squirtle is more popular than Blastoise. You know, just in general. At least that's what I've seen and heard, and people talk about when it comes to just the Pokemon and stuff like that. And so I would put Squirtle up there with Charmander again. If he were Charizard, then Charizard would be up there, but he's not. He's Charmander, and Charmander gets probably the same love as Squirtle, and I think Squirtle might pass that popularity point a little bit.
Okay. So here we are already. We're 10 minutes in, and we've done Gen 1. Yeah.
Hey, hey, those we knew those were probably going to be the hardest ones. At least I knew they're going to be the hardest ones.
Yeah.
I think.
So
But
then let's jump
I have,
over. Let's jump over to
I
Gen
do
2.
have, I do have out of like all the Gen, the one that I like the most. I think I mentioned it to you, right? I have a special. I love Gen 2. I love all three of them. Gen 2 are I like them. I like them a lot. All of them. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Yeah.
curious to hear which one.
This one is kind of the same uh look for me, except it's a step lower.
Yeah. Okay.
Me personally, I have I if it was me, I would do something like this.
Yeah.
If it was me, I would do something like that. I don't know if you have
I,
any problems with that.
I do not. I agree. Cyndaquil, and Totodile. Totodile's hella cute. I know Chikorita doesn't get as much. Again, it's the same Bulbasaur grass type for whatever reason, the same love and stuff like that. But Meganium is beautiful, and for alligator is ferocious, and Typhlosion is just monstrous. So,
Yeah.
and again, they don't get as much love, but I think that's fair. Cyndaquil, Totodile at A tier, and um, Chikorita at B. And again, same concept, just like I mentioned, just a step lower.
Same concept with the grass too. Like, what the hell is this, and what the hell is this? Like, we
Yeah, I
know
mean,
we know what the rest of these are, but what are the
yeah,
grass things even? Right? Like,
yeah, exactly. So, I'm kind of curious. Do you think just right off the bat, before, are we cool with this?
I,
No ration.
yeah,
Go
I'm
ahead.
I'm okay with that. Like, there, because I mean that I don't think there's a reason for us to push too hard because we agree.
Yeah.
If we can
Uh,
agree, it's fine, and we can come back to it after we finish some of the other ones because once we get more Pokemon on the list, then we can see like, well, is he really equal to this one, or is she really equal to that
yeah.
one, or
So,
whatever.
so at the end, we can talk it out and see if the list is pretty much set. Do you think we just real quick before we move on to three? Do you think we put anybody else in S tier? Do you think?
I think we might. I think there's a chance.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
I think
Okay.
there's a chance. So this one's probably gonna be the controversial one for me because I was not that big a fan of Gen 3. Like some people were. I know some people. It's all about the Gen 3 experience, which great games, but the starters were not exactly my cup of tea.
No,
So
likewise.
I don't know what you feel. Where would we start?
Let's go with Trico, right? So Trico, what are you thinking?
I don't think he's in the worst category, so I wouldn't put him in D, but I would feel okay in C. Trico. I
Out of the
I
three,
I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit better once he evolves, but again, since we're just doing starters
yeah,
primarily, I would put him down here.
out of the three, I think Torchic is probably, in my opinion, the most popular of the three. I do like Torchic a lot. Blaziken, I think, kind of as he gets older, right? But out of the three, I think Torchic has the best design. I would be comfortable putting Torchic at B.
Okay, I agree with that.
Okay.
I feel like Mudkip is right up there with him too.
You
I
see,
it's weird because I would feel better separating these two, but I could not put these two in the same personally.
yeah, Mudkip's not Trico. You see, is there anybody?
I feel better having. I feel better doing this than doing this,
No, yeah, I would have.
or doing this.
What
So
about
I
moving Trico to D? Because Mudkip, I would have put Mudkip with Chikorita.
I would
That's I would put
I
Torchic up there.
I actually like him more than I actually like Mudkip
Oh, okay.
more than Torchic.
Well, would you? Well, I guess. I mean, I don't hate it. I'm perfectly okay with it. I'm just trying to solidify the.
Yeah, let's
Let's
see. Let's move a little bit more and see where we end. Who ends up in D for us, and then
okay.
we'll see if this guy if then maybe something like that could happen.
Okay.
Okay. So then Gem 4. I actually have a lot of love for Gem 4, to be honest. Right off the bat though, I would probably say that my favorite is probably
Piplup. Piplup's my favorite.
yeah, I would probably go Chimchar, Piplup, and then Turtwig.
I would put Piplup, Chimchar, and then Turtwig.
Of course, with our
Yeah.
starters. So then Turtwig being at the bottom, would we want to put Turtwig D or C?
See. I like Turtwig. I just
More than Trico?
yes, yes,
Okay, so if this happens, then that happens, right? So then if
yeah.
that happens, does this guy move down?
I think. Well, you say you like Torchic. I mean, you say you like Mudkip over Torchic, and I would feel comfortable putting Torchic at B. I think you can keep up Mudkip at B.
Okay.
Mudkip's a better design than Turtwig also, but I do like Turtwig more so than Trico. I think Trico's, you know, um, the bottom of the barrel so
Okay.
far.
So then here we go with our boy.
Chimchar is tough, man. I like Piplup more, but I'm not going to take away from Piplup and that just great. I think Piplup looks. I mean, I think Chimchar looks cool. I do not feel comfortable putting Chimchar in C. I think he's B or better right
Okay.
off the bat.
That's what I was
Um,
gonna say. I feel like we're both gonna be at least here, but
yeah,
do we feel that any of them belong up here? Because I actually really like these designs, even though I have more of a personal attachment to Chimchar. I know people love Piplup, and Piplup is
straight
also
up.
in the anime as well. Was a big part of the anime. So
I would actually feel comfortable putting both of them in A. Also, they're both better. I think they're by design. They're both better than anybody in B
yeah,
by far.
I would the closest I would say would be this one
It's
to these
Chikorita.
two, but
Yeah,
I would agree that they're better than these two.
I agree. Chikorita is the best out of the B tier, but I think if there was like a a point, I guess like a 2.5 category Chikorita to be there,
B rank
but
one.
yeah, exactly. So Chimchar Piplup, I could put an A tier for sure. Sorry, Turtwig.
All right, so up next is Gen 5, which I actually thought had the weakest trio of starters, in my opinion. Even though it's probably one of my favorite series in the games,
Mhm.
or my favorite gen actually in the series. So what are we thinking here? We're starting off with Snivy,
Snivy. This was what games were these again? Tell me.
black and white.
Black and white, and I actually like black and white a lot. And strangely enough, is this where I went? This is Oshawott, right? Oshawott, Snivy, and Tepig,
And Tepig.
right? Man, they were the weakest ones as far as design just goes off the bat. I think Oshawott, personally, I think had the best design more so than the humanoid kind of thing going off already with Snivy almost. But Oshawott, I've always felt was very similar to Piplup in that regard. In some regard, not in that regard, in some regard. So it was always rough. As who are we going with first? Snivy?
Yeah. Uh, in my opinion, I don't really see them crossing up these guys. But where do we negotiate from there? Oh,
You
1-1.
put yeah, I was gonna say you put yeah, that's the thing. If there was one, I'm not a fan of Tepig.
Neither am
That's
I.
I'm not a fan of Tepig, and I'm not a
Yeah,
fan
he's probably the least liked for me.
at least. Um,
I actually wouldn't have a problem with this either, but
I'm perfectly okay with that. Again, Tepig, just no. just I have no connection to Tepe whatsoever. As far as the designs are concerned, I would say he's the worst. If he's D, I would put him better. He's with Trico for sure. As far as what we have on the list right now, I don't think anybody. I'm sorry. I think everybody's a better design than him by far, including Turtwig, Snivy, and Oshawott. I would be okay with putting Snivy and Oshawott at C, because I don't think they should go B tier if we have those three, Chikorita, Torchic, or Mudkip.
Yeah,
Again,
I'm actually a Snivy fan. Of the three, I like the Snivy the most, then Oshawott, then Tepig. I would imagine these two are flip for us, and you go 1, 2, 3, whereas I go 1, 2, 3.
yeah, exactly. So I'm okay with Oshawott, because Oshawott was my favorite out of this gen, and again I did use Snivy the second go around, and even then I just you know wasn't a big fan either way.
Okay, so we're good.
Uh,
So we're good with this so far.
yeah,
Okay, so now Gen 6.
is this the
Gen 6.
one,
This
two,
this
yeah,
would
Gen
be
6.
this would be X and Y.
Okay.
So let's start off with Chespin. Chespin,
You know, right off the bat, right off the bat, this is Froakie, Fennekin, and Chespin, right?
yes.
Right off the bat, out of the weakest, who's the weakest in your opinion out of the three? Is it Chespin?
I used Chespin. I love Chespin, but he's the weakest.
Now, keep in mind, this is the only generation that I have not completed. Played it, didn't get through it. This is where I kind of stopped before the next one, before I got to Gen 8, and then I went back to Gen 7 to finish off um, Ultra Sun. So I did play those, but I didn't kind of get through these. But by design, I think Froakie has the best design by far. Fennekin had potential. I like Fennekin, but Cheskin, I can never say it. Say it for me.
Chespin.
Chespin,
Chespin. Yeah.
Pin, C or D? No, not D. He's better looking than Trico and Tepig.
Okay. So
Uh,
if that happens, then these either go here or better.
I think Frokey's actually A tier. I like
Froakie is a good one, and he had the benefit also of the anime. I believe I want to say she was in the anime as well, but
Fennec.
Fen-
Fennekin's not ugly.
Fennekin was in the anime as well, but not as big as Froakie. And Froakie is one of the ones I think that's similar to Charmander, that he's not as popular as his evolution, but he is popular.
Yeah, I know Greninja's popular,
Yeah.
right? And because again, when you have your Pokemon in legit Super Smash Brothers, you know the popularity. Right? I know Greninja's just popular even in the card game. Every time the card comes out, Greninja's one of the go-to Pokemon. But Froakie kind of it's Froakie's benefit from that Charmander. I guess curse, because again people always like their evolutions more so than the actual Pokemon. That's why I put Squirtle in S tier, because Squirtle's the exception. People love Squirtle more than like Blastoise. I don't really know many people who like Charmander better than Charizard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially when we talked about. So Fennekin, if you're gonna put Fennekin at B, I would say you put, because Froakie I think does have the best design. And I think Froakie is better than anybody at B. I would feel comfortable putting Froakie at A actually, and keeping Fennekin at
So
B.
okay, so then what? So we prefer
Something
one,
like that.
two, three, or would we
Yeah.
prefer 1, 2, 3?
I mm, Froakie fits with that. If that's the case, Froakie kind of fits with that Chikorita. And that what did you call it?
Like
Um,
B
like a
rank one.
yeah, like a B
I,
rank one.
we
Yeah,
we can edit these when we finish. Like we can put them in order too if you want to. Uh, but
yeah.
is this better or is this better?
Uh, Fen-
And again, here you're looking across the line, right? Like,
yeah.
does this go? Do these guys go together, or do these guys go together?
I think okay. Now I'm looking at it. I think Fennekin does go with Oshawott, Snivy, and Turtwig, and I think Chespin does go with probably those guys. Again, what do you say? D tier, rank one. I think Chespin would be maybe borderline C tier. Maybe Fennekin and Chespin at C. But I you put Froakie. Froakie would fit with that Chikorita, or be the last, or be on there with that A tier.
Uh,
Froakie.
eventually I could see either this, or maybe even this. But
I'm comfortable with that.
okay, so we'll go here then.
Yeah.
All right. So next, this one's a tough one for me because I know I believe you did come back and play these games. Maybe not to
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
extent that you did the next gen, but these three are kind of, I think, are maybe the most separated for me in terms of like it's not really that close. I honestly, this guy for me does absolutely nothing.
That's what I went. Popilio. That's what I went with, right?
This guy for me does absolutely nothing. Whereas this guy on any given day is up here or right here. And then this guy is kind of just in the middle. Like I like him. It just depends how these two are. It could be this way. It could be this way. But for sure, this guy's down here for me. I don't know what you're
I'm
feeling.
right off the bat. I'm comfortable. I like Popilio a lot, and as a matter of fact, I like Popilio better than Litton. But even though I've never used um Decidueye, what's
Rowlet.
Rowlet. Even though I never used Rowlet, I am not going to take away from the fact that the Owl Pokemon is nice, and again by
You're
design.
also a bow tie guy.
Yeah, maybe. I like Rowlet. Rowlet is the best design of the three, but I think Litten's the worst design of the three. And I like Popio's design. I like the seal aspect. Um, Litten and Poplio, I think more so C tier. Both of them. I'm kind of putting both at C tier. I'm not a fan of Litten. I'm not even a fan of Incineroar. I'm not. I'm not even. Litten just does not do it for me. Primarina, I think if you're going by final evos, Primarina would be up there for me with Decidueye. I do like both of those. Rowlet, I know you said what you were straddling S and A.
Yeah, this guy for me on any given day is up here or down here. But again, that's me. We
That's
gotta we gotta work this out. So
yeah, Rowlet
I would
because
love S, but I'm okay with A.
I'll give you A because I think he's better than the four. And in this case, you are putting him up there with Bulbasaur, Totodile, Chimchar, those guys. Maybe Rowlet. I just saw your Rowlet, at plushie. You know what? You better do me a favor when you get to who. Uh, but again, Rowlet is better than anybody in B tier, and I'm gonna give it to you because obviously, right? Both of our voices of reason have to have some weigh in. So A tier is comfortable for me.
Okay. So here we go. The one that got you back.
I do.
The ones that got you back. To me, these two are awesome. Both of them are awesome.
Oh yeah, I agree.
This one is a little lower than those two personally for me.
Do people hate on Gen 8 as much as I think they do? Like their starters? I know people went crazy over the humanoid Score Bunny, whatever. I love Score Bunny and what is it? Sobble and what's
Grookey, Grookey.
and Grookey. Grookey and Score Bunny are amazing. I don't give a damn what anybody says. Sobble, I would be okay with putting Sobble because I think honestly I really like the Gen 8 starters. I know it got me back. I'm trying not to be biased. I know Gen 8 gets that flag, but we're only looking at their starters. I'm not giving a shit about the game. Like I'm not. I'm looking at starters. Score Bunny, if for me I put Score Bunny in S tier, but just like you did, A tier for me. Score Bunny, I think, is the best designed out of the three. And Score Bunny had the anime, and he was just so goddamn adorable. And again, he's a soccer rabbit. He's happy. He has a patch over his head. He likes to kick some ass, dude. Score Bunny's the way to go. Grookey is the other hard one, and Grookey is just awesome too. Um, when you what is it? When the trailers have been coming out and stuff like that, like he was a very likable, very friendly. Again, a lot more so than I would take the Gen 8 starters over the Gen 7 starters personally, right off the bat. So if wherever you're putting those Gen 7 starters, these are already a cut above the rest. And again, I'll let you A or B for Grookey for me. I think Grookey I would feel comfortable putting maybe at the higher end with Chikorita ish. But if you want to put the low end of A, I'm cool with that too. What do you think?
Yeah, I could see either these two. I know for me, bias would be up here, but I think a B is okay for my boy Grookey. How about
B?
Sobble? I think Sobble. Do we put Sobble D or C?
Sabo's a tough one. I would put Sabo C. And again, just because derpy lizard toad,
Timid,
kind of cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
Timid
and
tadpole kind of thing.
yeah, it does have the appeal more so than the other ones, but just not enough like your three at the top or your five at the top of B. So I'm comfortable with putting Sabo here at C.
Okay. Uh, then we move on to the latest Gen 9, which I think across the board for us, in our discussions, were like we can all agree that like we can both agree that these are probably better than maybe the final evolutions.
Yeah, and honestly, when the trailers are coming out, strangely enough, I thought Quaxley and Sprigatito were amazing looking, and I thought Coco was the one that kind of just threw me for a loop.
I love it, dude.
Yeah,
Love it.
I know, and then as we got through the game, it changed. Sorry, Quaxley, and I don't know, and I'm pretty sure maybe the final evolution has something to do with it because I started building up this imagination in my head where I thought Quaxley was going to be this conquistador looking pirate thing or whatever, but totally did not happen. And people fell in love with Fuecoco and Sprigatito. As far as these gens, like I do like Gen 8 better than the Gen 9 starters, personally. I do
Gen
hold Gen
8
8.
better than Gen 9?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
I do
wow.
like. I would take Grookey and Score Bunny in a heartbeat, like over
Yeah.
these guys.
I would take them. I'm the opposite. I would take all three of these across the board.
Really,
Yeah.
you take Quaxley, Sprigatito, and Fuecoco?
Yeah. This guy versus this guy, easy. This one versus
Oh,
this one,
okay.
I know that's
Oh, no,
that. I know
I'm
you're
taking
on this
Score
side
Bunny.
and I'm on this side, and then
Yeah.
these two, that's
I do like
tough, man.
Sprigatito. I do like Sprigatito over Grookey. I do. And Sprigatito is adorable. I don't even like cats. That's why I know Sprigatito deserves to be up there. But nonetheless, again, this is me being biased. That was biased to score bunny and stuff like that, obviously, right? But by design, as a whole, Gen 9, they're amazing across the board. I would put. We can go with Quaxley first. What do you think?
It's
Yeah,
tough.
you said it. You said it. You take Quaxley over Sabo any day, and I do too.
Yeah.
I do take Quaxley.
Very least here.
Very least, I agree. B. I agree. Now the tough ones, and because I think Quaxley is the worst out of the three design wise, Fuecoco and Sprigatito. Well, we can probably start them off at A and then see where we go. But I definitely don't think we put them any. We don't put them with Quaxley. I don't
No.
personally. Um,
Yeah. Much like this guy, this one does this for me.
Yeah, the only one that so far the only ones that would have done S for me are Score Bunny, and strangely enough, aside from Score Bunny, believe it or not, because I love Cyndaquil's my probably favorite, my second from Gen 2, Cyndaquil's probably my favorite starter. But as far as design, Totodile, dude, Totodile rocks that shit, man. And Totodile's design,
I think so too.
Totodile's
See
design,
the way I've like come to think of some of these lists. This list is like, okay, could I go through an entire game without evolving these two and be completely content? Yes.
yeah, yeah,
How about here? Yes.
yes,
Yes. 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 Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Yes. How about here?
You see, no.
Yes. I'd say yes. For me, this is a yes.
Four
For
checkers the new for yes.
right here, I think I
I,
don't know.
I would use this.
I would want Blaziken or I would want Swampert or Marshtomp.
I think Marshtomp is ugly.
Yeah.
That's why.
Here I have to get Greninja. Like I want Greninja. I picked
Yeah,
this
you
guy
want
because I want Greninja.
Yeah.
This guy I could probably go without evolving. So for me, I would want to move him up.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
This
Goofy would
guy
probably
I
be
could
the
go without evolving. So this one I want to move it up. I
and then the rest.
Yeah, I want to evolve. I want to evolve.
Yeah, I
I
want
want to
to evolve.
evolve. I want to evolve. I want to evolve. I want all these. I want to evolve.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So if you're looking at it through there, Sprigatito, Fuecoco, you can go on without evolving because you know, they're like I like them nature, but from here, is it safe to put anybody in S? Honestly, I can go the whole game. As much as I love Cinderace, I can go the whole game not evolving and sticking with Score Bunny through and through. I can do the same for all of those guys more likely. Totodile, and again, like I mentioned, I love Cyndaquil. Cyndaquil 90% of the time, 90 because that 10% for Totodile
I
will be my first pick. But
I
Totodile design,
I think for you, for your sake, this could happen. For my sake, that could happen, and for both of us, that could also happen.
yes. Honestly, no, the Totodile does not get talked about like Totodile just gets no love. But if you want to talk about just a that Gen 2, he's it, dude. By
I'm
design,
I'm okay with this as long as he's first.
this guy. I'm cool with that. And again, and Piplup's one of my other favorite starters. Piplup and Score Bunny have always been two of my favorite starters of all time, and I'm okay with Piplup at A. And again, Score Bunny gets that. Piplup gets that. Um, Cyndaquil is probably one of my other favorite ones, but again, Totodile, I will not take from Totodile because his design is so much cuter than Cyndaquil's, and I love Typhlosion. I like Typhlosion a lot, but I can go without evolving Totodile because sorry for alligator, Totodile is it, and he's cute as shit.
How do we feel about the list looking like this?
Let me see. You put Fuecoco over Piplup. What's sweet? I'm trying to copy. Cyndaquil over Bulbasaur is fair, and I don't I know Bulbasaur is underrated, but Cyndaquil is something else. And Totodile again by design, and that's more of the design thing talking. I think Cyndaquil is probably a little more popular if I'm not mistaken, but by design, Totodile, dude, man, he's a great looking starter, man. And like honestly, on that top, like when it comes to just personality, you already know he has personality based off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let me see what you do on the third. You put
Well,
Groki.
so far I just
Oh,
have
you're on
these.
A.
Yeah. So what? How do we
Yeah.
feel about this list here? Do you? I know you would probably want this,
I would put Piplup actually next to Cyndaquil,
so we
personally.
put him there.
Yeah, because I think Piplup is. I love Piplup, dude. Um, Bulbasaur, Piplup. You see Cyndaquil. Because I would put Cyndaquil and Piplup together. Bulbasaur for Coco 3. Chimchar? Chimchar, you put him at the end?
I mean, I could do this or that, but I like this guy a lot. I like Fuecoco a lot. I could even put Fuecoco above Bulbasaur.
Really? Dang,
Mm-hmm.
that much?
I like him,
Dang.
dude. I like the derpy alligator that just loves food.
So I like Spiritu is my favorite, but Spiritito, I would keep her in A, but I don't think I can move. Out of Piplup and Cyndaquil, Spiritito would probably be the third out of that one. So that's where I would probably put it. Fuecoco maybe above. No, I would put Bulbasaur in front of Fuecoco. But I would keep Chimchar in the back.
Yeah. Okay. So this is okay. I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
All right. B.
Out of those, Froakie and Chikorita, I think, are top of there. And again, I think Froakie, just because of the popularity, again, the Charmander effect for Froakie. Um,
See,
Grookey,
where I struggle is like I said, my thoughts is like who do I keep? Who am I okay with keeping at unevolved? And
yeah.
and A, easy. Those are all
Yeah.
yeses. I think there's an argument for this one.
For Chikorita?
Yeah, I would be okay with keeping Chikorita, but then I know Meganium also is very
I
very.
know. Again, the guy knows the shit.
Who would you feel okay like not evolving here? For me, it's this guy,
I would feel okay not evolving Grookey.
Grookey.
Yeah, like I know Rillaboom, but Grookey is again with Scorbunny and Grookey, they're something else. Quaxley, I I would not evolve Quaxley for other reasons.
Okay. Okay, so maybe
uh,
maybe he moves down a bit. All right.
yeah.
How about these three? Any of these
Froakie,
three over these three?
no, those three you can keep in the back. Now those three, I think Mudkip's in the back. Froakie would probably be, and Torchic would probably be that fourth one. If we're going by your logic, then that I think that fits and stuff like that because you want to evolve those. But as far as design, I think Mudkip is the worst one out of that group, that tier.
Yeah, I know he has a crazy fan base, so we're gonna get a bunch of dislikes here.
Really?
Yeah. So how about C? Let's we're about to hit the 40-minute mark, so let's try to wrap up C and D and then look at it overall one last time.
Of course we are. Uh, all right. For C, okay. Out of the best ones there, I think Oshawott. I think Oshawott maybe takes the first place of C.
Okay. So I like
Turtle.
I like these two. I like this guy better than him.
Okay, that's interchangeable. I can roll with that. Oshawott's
How about these two?
Fennekin and Turtwig or Fennekin and Linton?
Fennekin and Turtwig.
I would put Fennekin with Turtwig. We can take Linton out of that thing there. Linton should be towards the back. I'm not a fan of Linton whatsoever, so you can remove Linton. Like put him towards behind them. I would take Fennekin over and Turtwig over Linton.
Okay, so how about these two? These two move at all?
Hopefully, I will.
I cannot put these. I cannot put Lin. I can put Lin behind these. I cannot put Lin behind Poplio. I cannot.
Okay, fine. Yeah, we don't change them. I like
How
Poplio.
about Sabo?
Ah, man, the derpy. Sabo. I like Sabo. And again, but that's just me liking Gen 8. Like what's that word? Like the person that I am that I'm not supposed to, but I do like, I like, no, I'm sorry, Sabo, you gotta stay back there. I do. Well, maybe, if anything, you move him from Poplio, but if anything,
Yeah, I like him better than Poplio, so I would be okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
I'm okay with that.
so then how about these three?
Honestly,
For
dude,
me, it's this. It's probably either this or this.
I would take, I would put a Chespin in front of Trico. I'm sorry, Trico just does not do it for me. I know he's a gecko and whatever, but at least Chespin has some sort of design rather than just being a gecko. Legit, if you want to go a gecko, we'll play Gex. But
Okay.
the pig is bad. I don't like the pig at all. I'm sorry.
Okay. So then, do we like this list?
I like this list.
Okay. So
Absolutely.
so there you have it. There is our Pokemon Meta
And
Nerd starter tier list.
I know Riley and Scorbunny are kind of, biased, but I really, and I don't give a damn what anybody says, I really love that Totodile pick right up there, dude. I really, really do. I'm glad we came to a consensus. Again, I'm going to choose Cyndaquil, personally. I'm gonna choose Cyndaquil a lot, 90% of the time. But Totodile, that's a Pokemon, dude. Straight up. Like, that's a Pokemon.
Yeah. So thanks you guys for watching. Again, this is our very first YouTube video. So we'll try and build from here, try to get a little bit better at this whole thing. And we will still be recording the podcast. Not sure if we're going to go full video on the podcast as well, or if we'll just, add this along with our discussions and our weekly recaps. But we are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. And where else are we? Stitcher, I think, and we're on one other platform. I can't remember the last one, which bad on me, but I'll remember it for next time. I promise.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't, what is it? Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, well, RSS.com. That's where you can find
There we go.
wherever we're at. But like Rico had mentioned, it's a work in progress, and we're gonna keep doing what works and trying to figure things out, trying to get better, and just try to go, video, but at the same time trying to keep our podcast going, and just kind of adventure forth. I know we've been at it already for a year and a half, we're a year and 3 months, so we're gonna continue on and obviously get bigger, get better, and just keep going. You know what I mean? So thank you for joining us, and I hope you guys enjoyed our tier list, and especially even if you're not a fan of Pokemon in general, if you played any Pokemon, you at least know the first evolution. So thank you for joining us.
All right. Later, guys.